So mastering data analysis with Excel. When we're doing the orientation program, I told you guys that it is very important that you start from the fundamentals, all right, from the basis. Okay, and the basis of data analysis, the tool, all right, that you use as a foundation of data analysis is called Excel, Microsoft Excel. So now take this very understanding. I am not teaching you Microsoft Excel, okay? I'm teaching you data analysis with Microsoft Excel. So there are other applications, all right, but I will not rush into them. So I want you to be very solid in using Microsoft Excel to do data analysis. Then, as time goes on, then we can move into tools like Power BI, SQL, Python, all right, in future, trainings and all that. But for now, the vision, all right, is for you to master data analysis, using Excel. All right there, okay, because that's the foundation. It covers all processes of data analytics, from the data collection to data cleaning, to data analysis, to visualization. Data visualization discovers it. So fundamentals of Excel. All right, so let's just go. So what is Excel? Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet application, right, developed by Microsoft. It allows users to organize, analyze, visualize data using rows, columns, formulas, and charts. All right. I'll take that again. All right. Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet application. So we'll touch about what a spreadsheet is in a jiffy. All right. So developed by Microsoft, it allows users to organize, analyze, visualize data using rows, columns, formulas, charts. Okay. Now, why is Excel called a spreadsheet? All right, so the term comes from the old days of our accounting, where people use large sheets of paper printed with grids to do calculations by hand. Excel digitized that idea and made it dynamic. All right, so the ledger was so wide that it had to be spread across two-faced page. All right, to fit all the columns for dates, description, and amounts. All right, so let me just even take the you using a paper, all right, to take account, right? So you draw grids, all right, rows and columns and all that. So because the data that needs to be on the sheet is so much, so it has to be spread. It's just not like you opening a book, so spread it. So that's why it's called a spreadsheet. So this Excel is the digital form of what they call a ledger. All right, I'll show you that the picture now in a moment. All right, what we call a ledger. So it is the digital form of that. All right, that we used to take account in those days. All right, people still use the ledger today. All right, but Excel is digital form, and of course, when you use the ledger and all those many stuff, you are just stuck with manual stuff, or you can take it, all right, not digitized, then you cannot transfer it to the computer. But what's the need of taking it on paper and still having to? That's too much stress. So that's why I see today most receipts are digital receipts. All right, when you go to maybe supermarket like ShopRite, Ebano, and the likes. All right, so what you see there, you see receipt. Once you are done, they scan everything, the receipt will be printed. Nobody writes down. But today, are these the people who write down receipts? Yes. All right, you see they write down when you go to buy something from their store or whatever, they will write your name, this one, and give you a receipt and go. But the world has gone far beyond that. Everything is now digitized. All right, so you're instead of me doing receipt, a physical receipt for you, a hard copy receipt, I'd rather do a soft copy receipt for data analytics purpose. All right, so that I can track if that customer that bought that day came again. So maybe I'm doing a quarterly analysis. I don't check if that customer that bought 3 months ago, the customer returned back, or was the customer churned. All right, did the customer churn? Did the customer leave, not come back? Was it just a one-time purchase? All right, or was it a repeat purchase? So all those many things, analysis purpose. So when the customer did not come back, it's a one-time purchase. And of course, when the customer comes, buys, take the data, there you can follow up, send messages, thank you for buying from us today, blah, 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 blah. All right, in case a person drop phone number or email, and all that. All right, thank you for buying from us, blah, 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 and all. So just like that. So, spreadsheet. So, do you understand what a spreadsheet is now?
Yes, sir.
All right. A ledger. So, when spread. So, this is a ledger, right? So, you can see that. This is a ledger. You can see right here. those into accounting would understand this. Or if you were born some days, not now, some years, many years right ago, you understand this. So you can see the ledger and everything, the teller, this everything is here. Then you have to write everything right there. And so this is ledger right there. Okay, so this is how Excel is. You can see rows and column grids and all those many stuff right there. All right, so you can see a ledger is a book of collection and of accounts in which accounting transactions are recorded right there. So you can see that this is how a ledger is right there. So let us move a bit. So key features of Excel. So grid-based layout, number one. All right, so data is stored in Excel, arranged in rows and columns, formulas and functions. All right, this is another feature of Excel. So automate calculations and logic. Number three, charts and graphs. Visualize data trends and comparisons. So Excel has all these things, grid-based, formulas, functions, charts, and graph. The number four, this is what we call the pivot table. Excel has the pivot table. This summarizes large data sets dynamically. So you can see right here. All right, then number five, you have the macros and VBA. All right, automate repeated tasks. Right there. So just take note of this because it's very important right there. So we'll touch each and every one of these. So shortly. All right, so real world application. So we can see right here that Excel is used in the finance industry for budgeting, forecasting, investment models, education industry for grade books, attendance tracking. For sales and retail, you can see as used for inventories and sales dashboards. For research, you see how it's used for work data collection and statistical analysis. All right, for personal, right, how you can use Excel for your expense tracking, low calculators, habit tracker, just like that. You know a lot. All right, and so let's just move. So understanding the Excel interface. Okay, I know some of you guys, right, you're already used to Excel. Is anybody so familiar with all these things I'm saying? They're also familiar with this. I'm saying like, oh, let's just go to do calculation, right? Who is so familiar with this? Or maybe all of you guys are familiar with this. Huh?
I'm not very familiar, Zao.
Yeah, familiar.
I'm not familiar.
Ayomide, are you here? Is Ayomide here? Ayomide is not here yet.
It's not here.
Okay, all right. So let's just move. So navigating the Excel interface. Navigating the Excel interface. Good. Right, so now the Excel interface, you see the title bar and window controls right there. So the title bar displays the name of the open workbook, e.g. book one. Once saved, name updates to reflect your choosing file name. So you can see the title bar right here. So let me see. Okay, I'm creating a new book. All right, so this is the title bar, right? So you can see the title. Can you see my Excel window?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, so that's the title bar right there. You can see the title bar. You can see this now book two. All right, so it is used for the title right there. Okay, so you see it displays the name of the open workbook. So as you can see right here, so this one is saying workbook one. Once save the name update to reflect the choosing file name. So if I come and save this particular workbook now and just come and just do save right here. So it's telling me book two. So I can save it to anything, maybe practice workbook. I can just save it like that, right? It can be anything, accounting, whatever, one project, whatever thing you're working on, and just save it and just save it here. Automatically you just see the name has changed from workbook 2 to practice workbook. So this is the title bar, all right there in Excel. So just get familiar with the interface, because if you don't get familiar with the interface, you cannot really use the application. You need to know where what is, all right. So that's it. Now we're going to move on a bit, and you're going to see the title bar and window controls right there. So if you look at the right side right here, so you're going to see the title bars. You're going to see the window title bars right here. Okay, and window control. So you can see the window control top right corner, right, closes, which is the X right here. All right, then restore down, maximize, resize. You can see that right there. The minimize, which is this one here. So now open my Excel. All right, so you can look at it right here. Can you see the window control? So this one now, when I click this, it exits. Can you see that? automatically that says exited the application. Can you see that? It has exited the application. So let me open it again. So let's see. So this here, all right, you can see here, and that one here you can minimize it. Here you can restore after you have minimized. I can minimize it, all right, and I can restore after I've minimized it, just like this. I can make it, you can see I've changed the window to make it smaller. All right, and I can extend it. So that's what these controls are for here. So I have to do about the title bar, and I have to do about the window control. So right here. If you are using Mac, I think it's quite different, right? So how many persons are using Mac laptop here? Nobody. Okay. So quick access toolbar. So located at the top left. So this toolbar gives quick access to frequently used commands like save, undo, redo. You can customize it by clicking the same drop with an arrow to add more commands or choose to display it below the ribbons for convenience. So you can see right here, this arrow is a quick access. Like the word suggests, the name suggests quick access. So that is to say, if you want to quickly get some things, you can just come here instead of having to scroll to each of these different tabs right here to go different tab and try looking for what you want to do. So you can just include some right here. So these are the things I quickly do. You can quickly save, you can quickly open, you can quickly go to redo, undo, so just like that. So this is a quick access. So it's called, like the word suggests, quick access. All right, you just keep it around so that I can just quickly go there and get to any particular thing or do any particular task that I want to do quickly right there. So that's what the quick access toolbar is for. Then we have the ribbon structure. So the ribbon groups related tools under tabs such as home, insert, page layout, formulas, data reviews, and views. Each tab contains groups, and the groups are what collection of related commands. So you can see the ribbon structure right here. So this is the ribbon structure, and the ribbon has tabs. So all these things are tabs right here. Some people want to call it menu. All right, we want to call it menu. So these are the tabs right here, and we have groups. Each of these groups have related commands. So if I go to my Excel now, you see that right there. So this is the ribbon structure right there. So this is the ribbon structure right here. Let me just get my pen so I can be drawing. Are you guys still here?
Thank you. Yes, sir. We are here, sir.
Are you gaining value?
Yes, sir. We are here.
Yeah, we are. All right.
Yes, so
I have to take you through the interface so you understand. All right. Just like when you go to a new city. All right. Before you start doing anything, you should know the city, right? Know where. Okay, this is street. That's that street. Is that not correct? So if you don't know the location and everything, all right, you will just be lost. All right, so that's it. So when if I jump and start teaching you calculations, this is how you do this one, draw chart, draw map, and you don't know where they are, you don't know what and where you can find them, then it becomes difficult. So this is ribbon structure you can see right here. So I can just draw this right here. So this is ribbon structure, as we can see, right there, and we can see right. So we have these are the words. You can see this. You can see these are tabs. They are called tabs. All right. Well, some persons call it menu. All right. So these are tabs, and each of these tabs have several groups under there. For example, now you can see that this green is highlighted under home, above home, right? You can see. So we are currently at the home tab. So the home tab has several groups right there. So right here, you can see this group, these clipboard groups. Here, this is what you can do here. They have similar commands: cut, paste, format, paste. Then you can see that right here. Then you have another group right here. This is a font group. So anything that has to do with font, you can do it right here. You can format font right here. Let's say I come here and I just type training here. All right, so I can format this thing as I want. All right, using this font, right? I can change the font to something else. I can change it to something else. Let me just say I change it to area. All right, I can change it to area. See, I've changed the font. I can increase the font and make it very big. All right, it all depends, right? The usage, I can change the color of the font. I can make it red. I can put a border around it. If I want to. I've placed a border around it, just like that. I can make it bold. I can make it italicized. I can put an underline on it. So all right, so use all these things. And so when we are doing visualization, you're gonna find this very handy. Visualization, when you're doing charts, you want to do a dashboard and all that. So you're gonna find all these many tools very handy and all that. All right, so this is the fonts group. All right, you use it for formatting fonts and all. Then we have the alignment group right there. So we can use that for alignment. All right, so left align. Currently now this one is what left, and you can make it right aligned. I think because the font is big, that's why you're not seeing the alignment very well. All right, so right here, let me just remove the border. I don't want borders right there. No border. All right, let me remove the underline and remove the italic and change it to black. So right here, we can see this, right? We can see how the font is currently right aligned. So we can make it left aligned by clicking this left align here. We can make it center aligned. This is now on the center. It all based on how you want your post to be formatted. All right. You want your text to be formatted and all that. So this group right here, this alignment group to align. Of course, you can also wrap the text. Let's say the text is just training on data analysis, using Excel, organized, all right, by royalty academy right here. So you can see how the thing is just flowing. So we can actually wrap the text. All right, I hope this is where it is. Okay, I think my formula bar needs to come back, right? Here. All right, so I can come to the home tab and see, I can just wrap the text right there. See, I've wrapped it. Everything is not restricted to a box. I can unwrap it and see it's just flowing. Though it's still on one particular cell, but it's flowing. But I can wrap it and just restrict everything to a particular cell right there. And also, I can also merge center and all that using this alignment side. Then when you come back, you see the number group, all right, here, number. So we're going to touch all these things, right? So I'm just giving you a brief to make you understand that what, talking about the ribbon structure, we have the tabs, then we also have the groups in under each of every tab. So you see currently, so let me just remove this, all right? So you can see currently, we are under the home tab, right? So I can come to the insert tab. So when I come to the insert tabs, you see different sets of group right now. So you see the grouping now has changed. Unlike when I was here, you can see the so many groups right here under the home tab. So when I come to insert tab, you can see there are now several other groups right here. So insert tab is for you to insert things. I can insert the picture, I can insert the shape, I can take this rectangle and just draw it right here. So all these things are used for data visualization. So when data visualization, you need all these things, right? So I can insert an icon. I can insert whatever thing I want to insert. So yeah, it's basically used for inserting things and all. All right, then you have the draw tab too. If you want to draw and do some stuff right there, you have the page layout, just like that, to help you to format the page, to customize the page how you want the page to look like. All right, you see the margin orientation, this is the page setup, fit and all those many stuff. Then you have the formula bar. See, it is like more that handles everything that has to do with formulas. All right, then you have the data tab. Okay, so we got to see that view, developer, and whatnot. All right, so we'll see that. All right, so just understand the ribbon structure. So you know what a ribbon is, right? Do you know what a ribbon is now?
Yes, sir.
All right, and so let's go. Let's take it back to this. All right, so name box, function libraries, and hope I'm not missing anything. All right, okay. Name box, function library, and formula bar. So please take note of all these places and all these things I'm showing you. All right, because in future classes, I will just be calling their name. Okay, if you look at the name box, or if you look at the formula bar, or if you look at the function library, or look at the ribbon area, or look at the social tab, I'll be using these words. All right, so just get familiar with them. All right, so the name box, function library, and formula bar. So the name box located just above the grid by the left, the name box displays the address of the currently selected cell, e.g. cell 3. It also allows you to jump to a specific cell by typing its reference and pressing enter right there. So I'm just going to take it out right there. So, and let me just pick my pen once more and also show you that right there. All right, so this is the name box. All right, so you can look at it here. I'll just draw it so you can see. All right, so this is the name box right there. That's the name box right there for you. So it's name box. So currently you can see the cell that I selected is E7, and the name is from the intersection between the row and the column right there. So you can see this particular column E, all right, and see this particular row 7, so E7. So I can actually change the name and whatever thing. I can change it, right, something else, and just put, training or whatever, and what's necessary. So you can see right here that Jay, please mute anybody that is just unmuted and making noise.
Unmuted.
Yeah. So you can see right here, I've just changed the name to training. All right, so the name of this cell is not trend. Is it still E7? Yes, underneath E7. So if I come here and click here, so if you look at the name box, you see M7. So what's the M7? An intersection between the what? The column and the row. So this one is telling you this column M, row 7. If I come here and I select this particular cell, which is the active cell right there, we're going to see the name box. What are you seeing there? M26 right there. And I want to see K27, right? So I just type K27. Can you see that I just moved to K27? Oh, I want to see Z11 and I enter. Can you see it has moved to the Z11, right? So this is the name box, right? So you use it to identify the names of several things. It has its own function, special function, all right, that you need it to work with. Right, and once you understand that, when we get to that area, then you see the importance of that. But just understand this is the name box, and you can get to know the name of any particular cell by just looking at the name box right there. And we just move a bit, and we're going to see the function library right there. All right, so the function library, immediately to the right of the name box within the formula tab, the function library contains categorized buttons that help you insert Excel functions with ease. So you can see right here, right, this is the function library. And if I go to my Excel right there and pick my pen again once more, so we're going to show you this is the function library right here. So you can see FS, see function right there now. So that's the function library right here. So you can use it to select any function that you want. So functions you are not familiar with, right? So you can use it. For instance, if I want the sum function, I can just pick the sum function right here, and you can do summation for me. And look at it, search for the function in case you don't know the function you want to. So just search. Say type a brief description of what you want to do, and then click go. Let's say you want to do sum, just like sum right there. It will just do the sum for you, and it just goes. You can type any other thing you want to. Let's say you want to do average. You just type, average right there. All right, just type average, and just enter. So automatically you see that's brought every function that has to do with average right there for you. And of course you can see recommendations right here. So if you come into this drop down, right, so you're going to see different categories of function right there. So there are different categories of function: financial functions, data time functions, maths and trig functions, statistical functions. Let's say you want to do mathematics function, you can just come here and you're going to see all the mathematics functions that there is in Excel right there. So you can see, subtotal, round, whatever thing right there. So this is where all the functions are, right there. Then you can see whatever thing, logical function, if you want text functions, so all these are text functions, right? So we're going to know what all those functions are in subsequent classes. Okay, so let's just get familiar with our interface for now. Can we move?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. So we're just gonna move auto sum. Okay, I think this is a continuation of the function library, right? So yeah, categorize includes auto sum, blah 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 blah. Right. I already showed you that, right? So I will make the material available, both video and hard copy. Is it hard copy? No, I mean written, right? So soft copy material. So I'll make it available to you, the document available to you, so that you can read. Okay, and also make the video available on the YouTube channel. Okay, right there. Okay, so and also after this class, there's going to be a test. Okay, so that's how I organize my program. There's going to be a test, and we'll be having weekly review of test performance, individual performance, team by team performance, and we'll be rewarding people, best performing student for the week. Maybe airtime, 1,000, 2,000, whatever. Right. So we're going to have that. So it's going to be an engaging and an interesting, journey for you. All right. So the formula bar. The formula bar is where you can enter or edit test formulas. Anything typed here will appear in the active cell. Likewise, whatever you type directly in the cell appears in the formula bar as well. So I'll just go to the Excel. You see right there. So we have the formula bar. So this is the formula bar, just in case you don't know. So this is the formula bar right here. Draw now. Draw me formula bar command. Yeah. So this is the formula bar right here. So whatever you type here will appear here. Whatever you type here will appear here. So if I come here and I type a name, something like I type data analysis.
Okay.
All right. So you see automatically it has appeared in the formula bar right there. You can see data analysis appeared in the formula bar. And let me come to this particular cell. There's nothing in the formula bar right now. And let me type the same thing right there, data analysis in the formula bar. Now I'm not typing it inside the cell. I'm typing inside the formula bar, data analysis. All right, then you can see it appears also in the active cell. So whatever thing you type here appears here, whatever thing you type here appears here. Yes, they have their functions, right? So if you want to know anything, you want to see, all right, what is an underlying value, you can just see it right there. All right, right there. For example, I come and just do something like when we say okay, let me say equal to 5 times 5 times 5 is what? What is 5 times 5? 25, is that correct? So 5 times 5 is 25. So if you look at the grid, the active cell, you are seeing 25 here. That is an outcome. That's the outcome of the formula that you just put inside Excel. But if you look at the formula bar, you see the underlying value. That means what you did that actually resulted into the 25. Can you understand now? So the formula bar actually gives you the underlying value. All right, tells you okay exactly what you did. But the grid, after you have done the formula, it gives you the output. So 5 and 5 is, you are seeing 25 right here. But if I double click this grid right here, you're going to see right what we actually did that give us that 25. Right? Because I've clicked enter. So this is an outcome, right? So 5 times 5 now gives you 25. But the formula bar just gives you the way it is, the underlying value, what you actually place right there. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
The worksheet layout. So the worksheet is the main working area in Excel. So you can see this worksheet layout right here, which is the main working sheet, right? You can see here, this is a worksheet layout right here, and that's what you have right here. Let me just delete all these guys. And so the worksheet layout, so that's what you're seeing right here, this white space that we have. This is a worksheet layout, right? So this is a worksheet layout. So this whatever thing you're going to do is going to be any worksheet layout. Okay, all right there.
Yeah.
Rows and columns. So columns are labeled alphabetically ABC up to XFD. All right, rows are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 1,048,576. So like I told you in the orientation program that Excel has a limitation. It cannot take more than 1 million plus rows. All right, you can see that 1 million 48,000 rows. So that's the limitation. So when you have 2 million data sets, Excel cannot take it. So that's why in introduction I told you about databases like SQS, or their databases, Google BigQuery. Those things are databases right there. So you can see the columns are numbered after the alphabet, A, B, C, D to X, F, D. Also the rows are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, 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 blah. All right, see 1 million and all that. So the intersection of the two is what is a cell right there. So each cell is identified by a unique address, such as B2, B, row 2, right there. So let's just go. So just show you. So this is all right, this is a column, right? You can see they are named after the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E. You can see just if you just let that keep going. Then these are the rows: row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 4, row 5, row 6. You keep going down, just like that, right? You keep going down just like that. Just like that. So and we say that an intersection, right, between a row and a column gives you what is called a what?
A cell.
Right, it's called a cell, right? So you can see right here. So when where a column and a row meets is a cell. So this is a cell right here. So the selected cell is called active cell. All right. So this is the active cell because the one that is selected right here. They are all cells, but the one that is selected is not the active cell right there. So you can see intersection. That means to say I here 10 row 10. So then if you look at the name box, it gives you I10. If I come here, M here, column M, row 8 gives you M8. That is the name of that particular cell right there. So the name box gives you the name of the cell. Then you can see the intersection between a column and a row gives you a cell right there. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, so work area and scroll bars. So you can see horizontal scroll bar to move left and right. Then we have the vertical scroll bar to move up and down right there. So you can see the scroll bar right here. So I'm gonna just take you there, and so you can just see it right there. So you can see scroll bar. You have the scroll bar here, and you also have the scroll bar here. So this is scroll bar here too. So yeah, right. So you can see the scroll bars here, right here. So this one takes you up and down. The vertical scroll bar, the horizontal bar take you right and left and right there. So just remove that. So kind of just show you how that works. So right here you can see. So we can just scroll. So let's see now. So and scroll up and scroll down right here. So the same thing too here. You know, I can go like this, I can come like this, I can move. So these are the scroll bars. They are very important in your work right there when you're working. All right. All right. A workbook. All right. A worksheet. So a workbook may contain multiple worksheets. All right. Worksheet 1, sheet 2. Use the sheet tab at the bottom to switch between them. Use the navigation arrow if many sheets are hidden from view. So right here, see the navigation arrow, as you can see right here, then these are the sheets right here. So a workbook is just like a book. You know, when you have a book, you now have several sheets inside a book, right? Is that not so? So you have several leaves. So when you buy 20 leaves, that means you have 20 sheets inside that book. So when you open the book, page 1 is 1 sheet. You open the next one, page 2. So Excel operates the same way. Don't forget, the Excel is like a digital form of what? The ledger. So it's the ideology of Excel came from book structure. All right, when you have book and also have pages of books. So one sheet is 1 page. You know, another sheet is another page, and you can use this in analysis when you have maybe your data set in one, you have a clean data in one, you have an unclean data in the next one, you have a dashboard in the next one, you have different tables. You might not understand all those things right now. So you must have different tables in several sheets like that. Or let's say you have a region, one region in one sheet, another region west in the next sheet, south in another sheet, north in another sheet, just like that. So just like that. So you can just have several sheets. And like I said, pages of books. So right there, you can see this one. This one is called sheet 1 right here. So I can just rename this, right, and just rename it to north. And I can rename it so you can see this is a north sheet. And look at this plus right here. I can add another sheet. So I can go to another sheet, add another sheet right here, and can just rename it to south right there. I can go to another one and rename it as east, you know, and go to another one and rename it as west right there. Right there. So you can see right here, north, east, west, south. So if I want to go to north, so let's go here, it takes me to that page. If I want to go to south, it takes me to that page. And if I want to go to east, it takes me to that page right here. You know, so I can just put, let's say, names on the people from the north. I can say Musa. So just for me now, Ahmed, right? I hope I pronounce that, I spell that right. Then I can say Aisha.
Murtala. Musa.
I put Mustafa. Mustafa.
J.
J, Hausa name. J is an English name. Jennifer, you're playing with me, right? All right, so you can see that. Let's just leave that for those 4 there, right? So we can go to south and also have southern names, and we can see something like people from Delta, like Ochuko, if I spell that correct. I can see we can have something like from Cross River, Okon. All right, and I can see let me get somebody from River State, Wike. All right, Wike is from River, right? Then I have somebody from Edo State. Maybe they say Itohan. All right. Okay, so we can just have the south guys right here. Then we can come to the east sheet and also have the same thing. Then we can have Amarachi. Is there any Amarachi here? Then we can have Ebube.
Ogechi.
Then we can have Ogechi. It's only women that want to call their name. What are the men names? Male names, right? Then we can have. So let's just leave it like this. It's fine like this. We cannot go to the west, and you can see we can have a Folabi, and we can have all right, call them for me, Lola, right? We can have Lola, we can have Femi, we can have Bumi, we can have Ayo, and the likes, right? So you can see we have each of these names in the several sheets. So when I want to see what's happening in the north, I come to north. So the same thing too, you can have your reports in several sheets when you're working in companies. And I know a lot of you all are working in companies right now, all right, and you're using Excel. So just like that, so you want to know what's happening in the northern region. So you can go to the northern sheet and begin to know, all right, right there. All right, go to the southern sheets, the same thing, go to the eastern sheets, go to the western sheets and begin to see what's happening in east of the region right there. So you can see right there, so any sheet you go. So that's how you navigate right here in different sheets. So a worksheet, you can see a workbook has several worksheets, just like the ideology of a book that has several pages. So a worksheet is like a page in a book, right there. And when it's too much, you can use this navigation bar. All right, let's say we not add plenty, right? Let me just keep adding that you cannot see them again. Now add, that the thing is not too much, right? You just keep adding, right?
Yes, sir.
See, I've added now some are hidden already. There are plenty now that some are hidden, so you can use this is sheet navigator. So I cannot come here. When I click here, it begins to take me and begin to see all these many sheets I've added, right? Can you see them? So navigation, if I want to come to the left side, I can just click like navigation and it takes me to all the sheets right there. So can we move?
Yes, sir.
We already used up 1 hour, so we have 1 hour remaining. So my classes are for 2 hours, right? So right there, so we can have the zoom and display control right there. So we can see the zoom slider right here, the view modes, normal mode, page layout, page break right there, and which you have right here. So these are the zoom control right here. So if you want to zoom it, so that to be very, be on your face, you can just zoom like this. Can you see that? It's not on your face. You can just zoom it, keep zooming, and just like that. When you are doing visualization, you need it, right? Maybe you want to place a chart, want to align a chart very well, so you just need this zoom control. So you can see I can zoom, I can just zoom out. All right, I can zoom through, just zoom out right here, and also I can have different pages. I want to see different pages. You see the page layout right here. You can see I'm seeing the page layout right here. I can see different, views. Take it back to the normal view and whatnot right there. Can we move?
Yes, sir.
All right. So now we can move to the navigation techniques. All right. Mass navigation. Click on any cell to select it. Then use the scroll bar to explore rows and column right there. So of course I've showed you the navigation right there. So you know that already. So let me go back. Navigation techniques. You can also use the arrow key on your keyboard to move up and down. Control plus arrow key to jump across data blocks. Page up, page down to scroll vertically. Alt plus page down. So these are just shortcuts, right? Control page up, page down, switch between sheets. Type any cell reference D7, press enter. It takes you to that sheet. We done that already when we're doing the name box right there. Okay, so let's just move. Navigation techniques using keyboard shortcut with ribbon. All right, blah blah blah. That's so much, right? So all these are just shortcuts. Sorry, I don't want to bug myself too much. So when I give you, read it and follow the step, and you're just gonna see all these things, right? We have a lot to cover. So the dialog launch box. All right. The dialog box launcher, right? So dialog box launcher, when you need more controls or additional settings not visible directly on the ribbon right there. And you see found in various groups on the ribbon tabs, right? You see it in various groups. Clipboard, font alignment, numbers appear as a small square icon. So you can see this right here. So this is the dialog box. So a small square icon right there with an arrow in the lower right corner of a group. So this is a dialog box launcher right there. So use it to launch a dialog box, and it gives you more control right there. Okay, so clicking a dialog box launcher opens a full dialog box with more detailed or advanced option for that group. For example, you can see in the front group, you have the launcher opens option for advanced font setting right there. So we can go back to the Excel and just show you that right there. So let's just make this guy here. Just do it like this, right? So right, I can see right now. You can see the dialog box launcher. So you can see the dialog launcher here, right? Can you see that where my cursor currently is?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you need me to use my pen to show you that. Right, you can see the dialog box launcher. You can see this is a dialog box launcher. Almost every group has it. Dialog box launcher. Dialog box launcher. Dialog box launcher.
Yes, sir.
So once you expand it, it gives you more control on that particular group right there. All right, so let me just clean that and let me just go. So for example, you only have all this right here. So just see small. But I want to see more font option, right? I can just click dialog launcher and it launches, and you can see now it's giving me more options right here. So I can apply with many things that are not readily available right here. You can see border, field, protection, the number here. I can see several things right here, just like that, accounting, whatever thing I want to do. So it gives me more functionality. The same thing to alignments. I can also expand this and it gives me more alignment options right there. Number, this thing too, it gives me more right there. You can see conditional formatting. Okay, we can already have here. So yeah, you can see the dialog box launcher here too. You can see what you have copied here before. So you want to see, do you want to paste it and all that? And I go to another tab, right? The same thing, you see dialog box launcher everywhere. So this is the chart area. You can give me more options right there. for you. So you can see that. So basically, that's the download box structure. That's what it does for you, and you're gonna find it, or you're gonna need it, right, in due course. All right, let's move in the training right there. So do you know what the download box launcher is now?
Yes, sir.
And do you know where to locate it?
Yes, sir.
All right. The task pane, all right, appears as a side panel, usually docked on the right side of the Excel window. Can sometimes float or be moved. Used when you need more control of ongoing dynamic editing of an object with live visual feedback, especially for formatting pictures, shapes, charts, pivot tables, other inserted elements where changes happen in real time as you tweak settings right there. So right click on an object, picture, format picture, just like that format. So task pane. So that's what the task pane is right there. So you can use it for for give you more options. All right, give you more options to format your cell right there. Right there. So can come to let me just give you an example. All right. So let me just insert a shape right there. I can just insert this shape and put it right there. All right, there, right click, and you're going to see format shape. So once I do format shape, you can see the task pane at the right side, right? It just appeared here. I can now format the shape as I see fit, right? So you can change the fill colors from this to this, I can do transparency. I can make the transparency to be this, something faint. Something faint. I can remove the border. I don't want the outline, so I can remove the line and make it no line. So the line has disappeared. I can add a shadow to it. I can just come here and add one shadow. Right there. I can just add this. I've added a shadow to it, so you can see shadow has been added. I can just manipulate it. All right, whatsoever I want. All right. So please let's continue. All right, we have a lot to cover. So this is just an introduction. So I want you to be very familiar with all these things, all right? Because in due course we'll be using them, and I wouldn't want to be explaining what these things are. So I'm saying, what is that thing? What's that thing? What's that thing? Have you taken to a child newly to a mall and he's like, "Mommy, what's that thing in there? Mommy, what, daddy?" So yeah. So I don't want to, when we start doing the real stuff, right? Be asking, what is that thing? How did you go there? And so just know these things, right? So that it can help you to move forward. So understanding the active cell. At any given time, Excel allows editing only one cell, the active cell, right? This address appear in the name box. When selecting multiple cells, only one is active, usually the top left cell right there. So I already showed you that before, right? That the selected cell is the active cell. For example, if I click this is the active cell. You can see J30, that's the active cell. So I can manipulate this cell. Manipulation doesn't affect this other one because they are not selected, right there. You can see, the active cell right there. If I select all these ones right here, it's still this first left that still shows. All right. Let's say I have something right here. I have what's another name now? All right. Okay. Well, I don't know. All right. Buhari. Right. Buhari is that name, right? So let's say I have Buhari here. Let's spell that right. All right. Let's say I have Buhari right here. So if I select all this now, so we're gonna see that it is this left, right? The top left that is showing on the name box right there. So when I select all these ones, so right here, though this is the Musa, all right, so J30 is still the active cell, but because I selected all these ones, so I can actually format all of them together right there. So understand the idea of active cell. When I say, look at the active cell, so just understand what I'm saying. That you can see the active cell is always highlighted. You can see that this one is highlighted green. You can see green border right there. So yeah, so it becomes easy for you to know that. So creating, saving, and managing workbooks. All right, so a workbook is what is the primary file type in Excel. Think of it as a digital container that holds one or more worksheet tabs, right? Each worksheet is a grid of rows and columns where you enter and manipulate data. I already told you about worksheets, so I don't want to go back to that. So when you open Excel, you are either starting a new workbook or reopening an existing one. Everything you do happens inside a workbook, whether it is entering data, creating formulas, or designing charts. You do it inside a workbook right there. So you know what a workbook is. So it's a Excel primary file type right there. So creating a new workbook. So method to create a new workbook: from the start screen, open Excel and click blank workbook. From the file menu, go to file, new, blank workbook. Using a template, choose from there. So creating a new workbook is just so easy. All right. I know some of you know these things already, but just be patient for those people that don't know it, right? So I'm taking you guys from scratch. All right. I've taken a lot of people from scratch to data analysts today. All right. They are working as data analysts. When they started, they didn't know Jack. All right. But they started with like this, right? Started learning the foundations and all that. And, because of consistency and relentlessness. All right. So they were able to build up. And today they are working in and making money for themselves. All right. So right here, you can come here and you can see, all right, you can see new right here. You can do a new workbook, or you can come and see blank blank workbook. So I just created a new workbook, right? So that's as easy. Or a shortcut, Control N. If I do Control N, it opens a new workbook for me as well, right there. So yeah, so basically that's how you do that. So saving a workbook, save versus save as, they are not the same thing. Save, Control X, all right, updates the current file. Save as, create a new copy or change the file format or location right there. So we can see right here, Excel file format right here. You can see this is standard Excel file format, right? Standard Excel workbook .xlxs, right? Then we have .xlxs ls legacy format, that's between 1997 to 2003. So this is the format that we're using to save. Then we have this DT plus CSV, command separator value. All right, then we have this, all right, macro enabled workbook. So these are different saving formats that you can use in Excel. So there's a difference between save and save as. Save as just updates the current workbook. Save updates the current workbook. All right, and save as create a new copy or change the file format or the location right there. So if I come right there, you can see this one is called practice workbook right there. So if I come, you see the option here, save, right? So save. So if I click save, right, or Control X, whichever way, I can click Control S. Control S, it just updates this workbook. So if I don't click Control S, that means to say if I leave this page, all these things are put without saving will not be there. Right? But when I click Control S, that means I've updated it to this current data that we have right now on the worksheet. So when I come to the file, you're going to see another option right here, save as. Right? So when you see save as, now it's telling me, okay, what I can say, okay, save it in this document area. All right, and instead of saving it as practice workbook, I can save it as training workbook. All right. So does it erase the practice workbook? No, the practice workbook is still there. But now it's just that he has created another copy. Are you getting me now? So whatever thing I do right now is affected. All right. It's going to affect the training workbook, not practice workbook, because it has overwrite the practice workbook. So why the practice workbook is saved, but it's saved as at the lifetime before I change the name. Right. So I've created another copy right there, and of course I've changed the location. So just like that, that's what save as does for you. So yeah, so this was move. All right, so opening and managing workbook right there. So opening files, use file, open, shortcut, Control O to open. Recent files appear in the recent tab for quick access right there. So you can see if I come here now, I can just open, right? So you can see if I come to file, I can already open an existing. If I click open right now, so you want to take me to a location. All right, say, oh, what do you want to do? You want to take me to a location to open the file right there. So I can just come and say, okay, which file do you want to open? I can just look. All right, now of course you can see recent files. These are the files that I worked on before. These are recent files. I can just come and I can decide to open anyone. All right, I can decide to open anyone I want to open, and it just opens for me like that. And I can just work. I can open this, right? This is file that I worked with. Okay, it's a teaching file, right? This is to teach some of my students, right? So I can just open it, and it just opens up for me like that, right? And I can just come to the various sheet and do what I want to do, right? So that's it, right? Well, yeah, recent file. Then of course, I can open from any location that I've saved a file before. So we can just move, right? A bit. So managing multiple worksheet. Open save several workbook at once. So use view, arrange, or blah blah blah. All right, so let's leave that. It's there, right? But you can go and read it and practice it yourself. We don't have time. Understanding Excel's fundamental concepts, right there. So understand the framework, right? Before you can analyze data or build dashboard, you need to understand how Excel is structured. Think of Excel as a giant grid where every piece of data you enter lives in a cell, and those cells are organized into rows and columns. Once you grab this layout, right, everything becomes easy. Everything becomes easier, right? So we can see right there the rows and columns, right? So I'll show you what rows and columns are, right? So again, columns are vertically and labeled alphabetically right there. So I'll show you what columns are. Then also you have the rows. Rows runs horizontally, all right? You can see how the rows is running horizontally like this. Column is running vertically up and down, right? Column rows run left and right horizontally right there. So just know that it's very important. These are the structure, right? So a cell, I've already told you what a cell is. A cell is the basic unit of Excel. It is where a row and a column intersect. It can contain text, number, formulas, functions. You can format cells to change font, colors, and borders, right? I already told you that already, so you have the foundation solid. So a range is a group of cells. It can be horizontal range, vertical range, rectangular range, a block. So ranges are used in formulas, right? Formatting and data analysis right here. So if I come to my Excel, so you can see this is a range, this is a vertical range right here, because it's a group of or a selection of cells. So one cell is a cell. Once it becomes two, it becomes a range right there. So this is a horizontal range, this is a vertical range, this is a rectangular range, a block of range right here. So this is a range. So between this and this, right, I can just select it like this and do what I want to do right there. For example, if I put different values, right, if I put 3 right here, put 4, put 5, put 10, put 2 right here. So this is a range. So I can actually sum everything together right here. So I can just select everything right here and just come to auto sum. So you can just see it has automatically summed it for me. So 3 plus 4, 7 plus 5, that's 12 plus 10, that's 22 plus 2, that's 24. So you can see right here we have the sum right here, 24, because I just selected the range and I summed this right here. Or I can use the function to create the sum function, and use the sum function right here, and use the sum function right here, and just you can see it's telling me to enter. I can just sum this particular range right here and just close it and enter. Then this will be the same answer, see 24 as the range right here. So I just sum the range. So if you look at the formula bar, you see from F27 to F31. So this is F27, this is F31 right here. If you look at the formula bar, you know this is F27. If you look at the formula bar here, you can see that that's F31. So that's what we have gotten. The sum of all this gives us this right here. So this is a range. A range is a selection of more than one cell. So once it extends more than one cell, it becomes a range. Whether you're selecting horizontally, you're selecting vertically, or you're selecting a block, that's a rectangle. So that's what a range is. And yeah, so we're just going to move. So an Excel table is a structured range with built-in feature. All right, automates filtering, headers, row formatting, structured references in formula, dynamic expansion when new data is added. So the concept of Excel tables is very important. Tables, in fact, the concept of table in data analytics is very, very important. Table is one of the concepts that is a universal concept in data analytics. All right, where you're using SQL, you're using Power BI, you're using Python. The concept of what a table is very important. All right, the fact that we have numbers right here doesn't make it a table. Let me see if I can open some of the files that I have before. So let me see if I can open something small. Hospital admission data project. Nope. Okay, let me just select a few. Let me select this right. So let me just extract some data right there. Can I work with this? Okay, let me work with this. So let me just select this data right here and just copy it. Let me copy it. Right here and just go to a new cell. Oh, let me just close this now. And let's go back to the sheet we were working on before. So these things are just too much, right? So let me just remove all those plenty sheet I created just to give you guys an example. So you can just select all this, right click and delete. Yep. So it does left what for me now. Then also want to delete this one too. So we're left with this right here. So let's say I have this data set right here and I just paste it now. So you can see this data set right here. So the fact that they are arranged in rows and columns doesn't make them tables. All right, so there is an Excel table. It's a structured way of working right here. So this is not a table. These are just data arranged in rows and columns right here. So we can actually make this an official Excel table. I can just come in and put month right here. Let me just give them headers. I can put month right here. I can put region right here. I can put region codes. I can just put code, whichever. I can put products or category right here. I can put revenue right here. Then I can put quantity. Well, whichever, I can put price and quantity right there. Unit price. Right, so I've given it a header, and I can just make the header a little bit. Let me just change it a bit, or something like this. So now this is just data in ranges. All right, it is not a table yet. So to make this a table, an official Excel table, you can just select any cell within this. You can look at these cells. That these are cells that are close to each other, adjacent cells, right? This block of cells, block of data right here, and just hold Control T. So if I do Control T, you can see what you're seeing right here, create table. So it's asking me where's the data located. So because they are all together, there's no cell separating them, there's no column separating them. So Excel automatically detects where it is and just selects everything. And you can see if I just click OK, automatically you can see it has created what we call an official Excel table. Right, it has created an official Excel table, and I can go ahead to manipulate this as I want, as I deem fit right here. So before we created the table, you see there were no filter. You can see this filter icon right here. There were no filter icon right there, but right now there's filter icon. So I can do whatever thing. I can do structural referencing. So you get to know what these things are, structural referencing and the likes right here. So yeah, so that's what an Excel table is. So you can create it that way. Then you can also create it, right? So I'll undo what I did right. I also create it by going to the insert tab right here, and you're going to see table right here, insert table. It gives you the same thing, and you're going to get the same result, and just give you better way. So creating a Excel table is very important in your journey as a data analytics, because you automate word filtering, header row formatting, structural references, a formula, dynamic expansion when new data is added. Right, so that's another unique thing about that, right? So, but we are not on table yet here, so we're going to see that more, right? So to create table, select your data range, go to insert table, or press Ctrl T. All right, confirm the range and check my table has headers right there, so you can see right there. So these I just created this table for us right there. So worksheet and workbook. A worksheet is a collection of it's a single tab in Excel, right? A workbook is the entire file containing one or more worksheet. You can add, delete, rename, remove worksheets within a workbook. You know that already. You guys are pro on that already. Data entry and formatting. So we still have like 30 minutes, right? I like the speed at which I'm going. Am I very fast?
Yes, sir.
I'm fast.
Yeah, very fast, sir.
Yeah, very fast, sir.
You're fast.
But you like it?
No,
Or should I?
Not really.
I actually like it, but
Yes,
sometimes
sir.
you just have to slow down a bit.
Fast.
You don't like it? I'm very fast.
Yeah, you're too fast. If you can slow a bit.
Continue with the pace. We like.
I don't like it.
All right, who should I listen to now? Is it people that want it fast, or those that don't want it fast? All right, if you're
Hey,
continue. In fact, the pace is too fast for some people that are just learning.
all right, it's too
Yes.
fast. All right, because the reason I'm doing this, right? I told the last cohort, I said what I achieve in 2 months with them, I want to achieve it 1 month with people. That's the reason why, right? I want to do it. I want to achieve very much. One of my goals for this your cohort is speed. All right, I want to make you get data analyst very fast. You get to me now. And some of them have been with me for like 5 months because I did an extended program. They've been with me for 5 months teaching and all that. All right. But I said I want to achieve. I told them, I said I want to achieve with you guys in 3 months. What I achieve with them in 5 months. And like, oh, so how would you do it? I said, okay, let's see. All right. So, the videos will be there, and materials will be given to you as well.
Okay.
So you can go and watch the
Okay,
video
sir.
again once it's uploaded on YouTube. You can pause in case anyone you don't understand. Pause it. Are you getting me? And also you
Yes,
can,
sir.
like I said, I'll give you the material. All these things I said, it's already documented, right? So after the class, I'll send it to you people so you can read them through on your own. Some persons like reading, some persons like watching videos. Some persons like attending live classes when I can be interacting with the teacher and all that. All right. So I provide all these many things for you, teaching you live interaction, watching videos that will be uploaded, or reading, whichever way that you want to acquire the knowledge, right? I make all these things available for you right there. All right, so if you are just joining and you have not dropped your full name, your phone number, your destination on the chat, please kindly do that. Your full name, phone number, and your designation. Your designation is either you're a copper and a non-copper, right there. Please kindly drop that right there on the chat. All right, it's going to help us. It's going to help you for your certification, because if you don't drop that, your certificates will not be given to you. Your attendance is part of the requirement for your certificate right there. So can we move?
Yes, sir, we can.
All right. So understanding the building block, all right? So Excel is as powerful as the data you feed it, right? Whether you are tracking expenses, managing inventories, or analyzing survey results, knowing how to enter and format data correctly ensures accuracy, readability, and efficiency right there. All right, so entering data into cells. You can enter 4 main types of data into Excel cells. Number 1, text. You can enter text, labels, names, description, right? Product name and all that. Numbers, right? You can enter numbers, quantities, prices, percentages. You can enter date and time, all right? Excel recognizes and formats this automatically, all right? Then you can enter formulas, all right? So these are the 4 main types of data that you can enter into Excel. Number 1 is what? People should answer me. Number 1 is what?
Text.
Number 2?
Numbers.
Number 3?
Date and time.
Date and time.
Number 4?
Formulas.
So I've already entered all these things throughout the class today. All right, I've entered numbers, I've entered tests, I've done formula, but you have done 5 times 5. That's formula, right? You can enter text. I can enter your name. I can enter Juliet. Is anybody Juliet here? I can enter, let's say this is name, right? I can enter, let's say this is age. I can enter Juliet here. Juliet is 26 years old. Do we have a Juliet here? So, all right, he's 26 years old. And what do we have now right here? So I can see Juliet is in team here. I can see Juliet is in team blue. All right, I can see what do I put here now? Okay, I can say Juliet's test scores is okay, let me put test 1. All right, test 1 score. So I just want to do a formula, right? That's why I'm doing that. All right, test 1 score. Juliet scored 80. Test 2 score. Juliet score 75. Then I can do the average of these two. Then I want to put a formula now, right? So I want to get Juliet's average score. So I can just do the average here and just come here and look for average and do this and just enter. I can see Juliet's average score is 77.5 right there. Okay, so that's it. So you can see right here, I've entered what? Test. I've entered numbers. I've entered formulas. Then dates, right now. So the Juliet's date of birth. Let me just put something in a second. Let me just create and insert something here. I can see Juliet's date of birth. Juliet's date of birth is 26 years from now. Is what? 2006. And that is correct, right? Let us assume that, right? So I can just say Juliet 03/07/2003. That is a date. So you can see date is right here. So if you look at the ribbon right here, you see dates at this number group right here. You see this is dates. That's the date type. If I come Juliet, you look at the ribbon, it's showing general. Yes, you can also make it a test. Look at this one, it's a number. Yeah, this one is a formula. So we have all these things. So these are the things you entered into Excel. All right. So right there. Can we move?
Yes, sir.
And yes, understand the formulas begin with what? Equal to. So when you want to start a formula in Excel, you must begin with equal to. Otherwise, Excel will see it as a test right here. So you see when I wanted to do this formula, if you look at the formula bar, you're going to see an equal to that starts it, then the average, right? So an equal to is to tell you, say that I want to do a formula, all right? Then the next thing is like, which formula do you want to do? Then you now put the name of the formula you want to do, open brackets, then enter the arguments, all right? And enter the argument. Once you enter the argument, close the bracket, and it gives you the formula, the outcome of the formula right there. So when you want to start the formula in Excel, you use an equal to, okay?
Okay, sir.
Editing and cleaning data, all right? So to edit, double click the cell or use the formula bar, all right? I think I did that earlier on. To clear, All right. Use the delete key or go to home clear to remove content, formatting, or comment right there. So I can go to the Excel and just show you that. So if I want to edit this name Juliet, I can just, you see, I click it one about, if I type anything, right, it will overwrite what is there. All right, so if I want to edit Juliet that I see, I have to double click it. Instead of clicking it once and typing, if I click once and I type anything, let's say I want to type Trisha. Do we have anything like anybody like Trisha in this other group? Let's say I want to type Trisha, right? So when I type Trisha, see Trisha has overwritten Juliet right there. So that's not what I want to achieve. I want to just add something to this Juliet. Maybe I want to add Juliet's surname. So I have to double click it to be able to edit it. So if I double click it, you can see the stuff right there. And I just enter space Juliet's Benson. See, I just added Juliet name and click enter. You can see I've just edited that. Another way to edit it is to go to the formula bar. So I just click Juliet here. I don't have to click 2 times, just click once, then go to the formula bar and just click the formula bar, right? Enter, press enter, and press space rather, Benson, and enter. So it also reflects right here. So remember we said earlier on that what you type on the cell, appears in the formula bar, and what you type in the formula bar appears in the cell. So when I want to edit it from the formula bar, I don't need to double click it. I just need to click the active cell once, go to the formula bar, and do whatever editing I want to do right there. But if I want to edit it from the cell, I have to double click it to do that. And also, you can also look at the home tab right here. And if you look at this editing group right here, you see clear right here. So if I click clear right here, you see a drop down that will open for me. And that drop down, I can click clear all. That means it clears everything that's on that particular cell. You see, that's clear everything that's on that particular cell, which are the same thing as pressing your delete key, all right, on the keyboard, all right. Then I can put format. So let me just format this with this color right there. So I can come here and say clear format, right? So if I clear format, you see this color will disappear, but the content will still remain. So clear format is has removed the formatting that is there. The color has removed and everything right there. And we also have another one right there, clear content. So clears everything at the same time too. And just like that. So when you want to clear, hyperlink, leave hyperlink for now, right? So now, if you want to clear, right, you can use that to clear. Let's say you just want to clear colors are everywhere. For example, I want to clear all the colors that are here. I can just come and clear. Or if I want to clear all the colors, I clear it right there. So the reason why it's not clear, right, because this one is a table and it's a style, right? So it's all called table style, right? So if I come to table design right here, so it's quite different from that. If you want to do that, you have to come here and table style and all that. You can see I can just make it this time. Look at this. So I've changed it. So that's the reason why. So I told you table is very unique in operation when it comes to Excel. So you can see how so you have to go to table styles to do that, right? But in the case where it's not a table and it's just an normal editing in Excel, let's say you have colors like this, and let's say you don't want to change, you don't want this colors header to be there. All right, you can just come to the clear right there. In this case, the list cannot do it. You have to go and clear the format. So clear format, and the format clears right there, right there. So right there. But if you want to delete it, you can press highlight all the cells you want to delete and do delete on your keyboard. It deletes, or you come to clear right here and clear all. It does the same function for you. But most times I use clear. I use clear to clear formats, right? To clear format that we have in a particular cell or range. All right, is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Formatting cells. So common formatting options. You can see the font, style, format. I've showed you that before, right? Alignment, left, center, right aligned, border, outline cells. Now you can fill colors and all those many stuff, numbers, formats, currency, and the likes. So formatting numbers. Excel offers several number formatting. So you can see the general formatting, which is this. You can see the number formatting. You can see currency formatting. It has a currency before the numbers. Then you can see the percentage. It gives you a percentage right there. You can see dates. It gives you dates format. You can see time right there. So let me just show you currency so that you can just understand, right? I think other ones are simple. All right, right there. So I can come here and see right here that we have this right here. So I can actually change the formatting. So if I come to the number group right here, all right, this number group, I can just expand this dialog box right here. I can just go to currency right there. So if I go to currency, look at this symbol right here. So I can just click the drop down and I want to look for Nigeria. So you're not going to see like Nigeria, but you're going to see the way I said it, you're going to see some guys right there that looks like Nigeria, right? So you're going to see Hausa, Edo, Fulani, Ibibio. So I can just click it Hausa and just click OK. So do I want decimal places? No. So I just click OK. So automatically you see the Naira sign Naira symbol just got included just before the numbers right there. Can you see it right there? So currently, so this is a format. They have done a currency formatting right there. So I just formatted this thing right here. So that's the currency formatting, date formatting as well. So we'll get to see all these things as we go forward. All right. So for example, this is a date format. Look at this date is in this particular format 3/7/2023. All right. I can actually change the format to say, okay, Wednesday, June or whatever. So I can come to the date format right here, or click this dialog box right there and just come to dates right here. Then I want to see Wednesday. Can you see? Not like Wednesday right though, but this is the exact date for this particular day. So I want to see this 3/7/2023. Which day is that? So I can see that it was a Friday. So I can just click this one, right? This is a particular format and click OK. So automatically you see the date format has changed. It's the same thing, just that the format is changing. All right. So you can see it's Friday. Then Friday, March 7, 2023. All right. So March 7, 2023 was a Friday. So I just changed the format, right? So you can use to know any dates. Maybe in case you want to know a date that you've forgotten. Of course, I know it's easy now. You can just go online and just type which day is this one, right? But you can also do it in Excel, and all that. And you can also change the formatting as well. You don't want this to be in this format. You want it to be in another format. You can just go there too and see the several formats that Excel provides for you. Let's say you don't want to see the year, you just want to see the month and the you want to see the month and the day. Yes, you can see that. All right. And you also want to see the month and the year. You can also do that. Right? You can see March this. So you can see March 03. Right. So in this case, it's just giving me what March 2023. All right. That's what it's giving me right there. So basically, these are different formatting that you can do in Excel. Right. So can we move?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, using a format painter. All right, the format painter is very, very important in your work, all right, because it makes your work very fast. So you can see the format painter copies formatting from one cell to another. How to select the formatted cell, click the format painter at the home tab, click the target cell and drag across a range right there. So this is format painter is very, very important. I use it a lot. It's one of the two I use a lot when I'm working. For example, I have this particular format here, all right? I don't need to be going and be doing one them after the order or something. Are you getting me now? Or let's say I have another sheet. All right. I want to copy this format to that sheet. I don't need to be going and be looking for the format. Let's say the format is not here again now. All right. Let's say something else is here. I have a specific number that I used, for this. All right. So I can just come to format painter, click the format painter. I can just come, and you can see it has formatted this just the same way this one is. The format is not only color, right? It can be anything. It can be font. I can change the font. I can make it bold. So this is the format right here now. It can be anything. I can wrap it, change the alignments, just like that. So if I come to format painter and click select and all these ones right here, automatically everything behaves like this guy because I just copied and pasted the formatting right there. So as you can see, right? Can you see that? Can you see that? I can make this one small, change it back to right align, left align, copy the format, and do it, everything becomes just like this guy. So I use this thing a lot. You're gonna need it, right? You're gonna need it a lot, right? So it just helps you to, to just have consistency and make it easy for you to just copy one type of formatting into another. So I can come to this box right here and just drag this and have this box now. All right, so this one box, I can start another box and drag right there. Let's say this box color is I formatted this box like this and I want to remove the outline, no outline. All right, so I want this box to be like this. Do I have to go and do the step that I did to doing this one? No. What do I have to do? Just click the format painter, come here, apply it, then the same work that I did here gets applied here. So I don't have to be repeating one task over and over again, where I can just do it once. This format painter to just copy the format and paste it. And so, is it not? Don't you like this? Is it not good?
It is, sir. It's better.
Okay, let's move. So wrapping text and merging cells. I already showed you that, right? Wrap text, keep long text visible within a cell. Merge cells, combine multiple cells into one. So I already showed you that, right? So let's not waste time right there. All right. Applying cell styles, right? So Excel offers predefined styles for heading, titles, and data. All right. Go to home, cell styles, choose from option like heading, total, accent one, and all that. So the cell styles are very important. Like I say, the format painter, you see what the format painter does, right? It just formats the cell for you. All right, copy from one and go, but you can have a style that is just fixed. All right, so if I come to the home tab right there, you can give me a style. Let's say I have this right here, I can just come. So right here, you can see different styles. Right here, you can see, if I click this one right there, you can see different style. I can break it this style, I can make it that style. So all these are already predefined style. You can also create your own style. Are you getting me now? You can also create your own style. If I click this drop down right here, you see several different styles. You can see the heading, you can see whatever, you can see the accent, theme, you can see all these styles are just there. All right, so you can use it over and over again. You don't need to be creating it every time that you need to do something. For example, let's say I want all my headers to be this. All right, so I can just create it once and just leave it like that. When I come to a set next time and I want my header to be like that, I just go to the style. So it's like a preset. So it's saved. It's preset that is saved. So you just go to Excel and do it. And you can see new cell styles. You can also create a new cell style. Let's say you don't like all these things. You have a company branding, how you want the headers of your the colors of your headers and all these things, format and everything to be like. So I can just come to new cell styles and create a new cell styles right there. So you can tell me, you can see all this money. So I can just click the format right here and I begin to format them the way I want. Put the field color, I want it like this, just like that. Style 1, I can change the name to my styles 1. All right, and just you can see my styles 1 automatically. You can see right there, it will also be applied here. So if I come drop down right here, you see custom. So that's my style. This is what I created. That's to say, anytime I want to use this same style, I start a new worksheet, I can just go there and use this style. Or, just like that, right? It's there everywhere. I go to any sheet and I say, okay, I want to change this. I want to do this guy to use my styles right there. I can just come here, use my style. It's just permanent and it applies it. So it's like a preset that you save that helps you to fasten and speed in your work. Like you don't need to be creating things boring repeatedly and like, oh man, I'm tired. No. You just create it once and use it over and over again. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Let's move. Conditional formatting, right? This one is just an introduction to what conditional formatting is. All right, so it's not a detailed conditional formatting class because conditional formatting on its own needs to be learned because you need conditional formatting when you're doing data analytics, right? So conditional formatting changes all cell appearance based on rules. Example, highlight cell above a certain value, color code based on categories, apply data bars on icons or icon sets. We explore this deeply in a later chapter right here. So conditional formatting is like this, right? So you can see conditional formatting, right there. Conditional formatting, I can just highlight all these cell rules. It's not just put on based on color, but if I say, okay, if this is greater than 75, okay, let's say we have 75 right here, then what do I want to do? Which color do I want to fill it as? Right? I can say, okay, fill it with red color that highlights it. Right, so right here is 75. So let me put 76. So also I can use it automatically because it's 76 now. It has changed the color to red because that's the conditional formatting. And I say if it is greater than 75, so it gives you red color. So it's called conditional formatting. You're going to need it a lot when you're working, right? So you can use it to spot when you hit a target. So if you have met a target, if a particular team or a particular person have met a target, automatically the color changes and say, okay, this person has hit the target. Or in an educational system, the students gets past a particular score. So that person is an A student. You can say, okay, A student, excellent student, 90 from above have green. From 80 to 89 have yellow color. From 60, so just like that, you can just easily, by looking at it, you can just easily place conditional formatting on a particular cell, on a particular range, and be able to identify easily with colors those persons who have met targets and those who have not met targets. So it's very, very important. Conditional formatting, I cannot overemphasize it, but we have not gotten to that yet. So just understand the concept. Do you get that?
Yes, sir.
Naming for clarity and control. Naming in Excel is not just cosmetic, okay? It is functional. By assigning meaningful names to cells, ranges, tables, and worksheets, you make your formulas easier to read, your models easier to maintain, and your workbook more intuitive for others. So naming is very important in Excel. Just like everybody right here has name. If you don't have name and just like when you open the Excel workbook, what do you see? Workbook, right? Workbook 1, workbook 2, workbook. Does that make any sense? Right? Even the workbook 1, workbook 2 is also a name, right? But it's good that you give everything specific name. All right? And because at the point you get confused. For example, when you want to do pivot table, say pivot table 1, pivot table 10. What's a pivot table 10? You don't know what it is. You say name, but the name doesn't have context, doesn't have meaning. when you see that pivot table is for what? Sales analysis. The next pivot table is for product analysis. You need to know once. So everybody has name. I can say, okay, Signora or Sinora, I don't know how to pronounce that name now. So they have Signora, right? They have Precious. We have Esther. So everybody has name. I can say, I can call this person name. I can call that person name. So the same thing too. When you are working in Excel, it is very important that naming, you name things, you name table, you name even cells can be named. You name pivot table, you name charts to be named. Everything should be named. Groups, ranges can be named. All right. And when you can understand naming, it's going to help you a lot. All right. So you can see naming Excel is not just what cosmetics. It's not just for beauty sakes and all those many stuff, or and paparazzi. So it's functional by assigning meaningful names to cells, ranges, tables, and worksheets. You make your formulas easier to read, your models easier to maintain, and your workbook more intuitive for others. So naming convention. What is a naming convention? A naming convention is a set of rules for naming variables, columns, tables, and other objects. So there are rules for naming when you're working in data analytics. All right. And once you understand that naming convention, it works and it helps you better. So this makes it easier to understand and work with your data. In Excel, you use it to name ranges, worksheets, formulas, and other elements right there. So we can see naming convention, that there are 4 common naming conventions, but in data analytics, let me just say Excel. All right. So there are more, but they are common. These are the common. You have the camel case, you have the Pascal case, you have the snake case, and you have the kebab case right there. So this is the camel case, a naming style where the first letter of the first word is lowercase, and the first letter of each subsequent word is uppercase with no separators. So you can see right here. So this is what the camel case right here. So you can see the first letter of the first word is what, a lowercase. Then the first letter of subsequent words. All right, you can see this one. The first letter. Can you see this one? All right, uppercase. So you have to join them without what, a separator. There's no separator. There's no space separating them. So this is how you name this word. What called the camel case right here. So you can see other dates. They're all joined together right there. So when you're working in Power BI, you get to see this a lot, and some other Python and other things. I think I have some slides right here. So widely used for what, variables, right? Functions and methods in Go, JavaScript, Java, C, right? Whatever, parameter and private members, right? So just like that. So it's used there right there. So the next one we have is what, the Pascal case, a naming style identical to camel case, except the first letter of the first word is also uppercase. So in the first one, the camel case, the way they call camel, right? Camel's throat is long at the head, and just like that. So you see, the first letter is just tiny, then the other one is, big. So the same thing too. Yeah, in this case, the Pascal case, the first letter is uppercase, and the next word, right? The first letter of the next word is also uppercase. You can see customer name. So customer here, uppercase name, and they are joined together without a separator. All right, so that's another naming convention that you must know. So this style is typically used for class names and type names in languages like Go, C++, Java, and TypeScript right there, right, for those who are doing programming and all. So in the third naming convention, this is the most common one though, a naming style where all letters are lowercase and words are separated by underscores. So this is what snake case. You can see they are all lowercase, but there is an underscore that's separating them right there. You can see username, customer name, other name. So if I come to Excel, right, let me just show you something. All right, let me just take the last one and I go. I'll just show you in Excel, then we close. So this naming style is widely used for variables and functions in languages such as Python, Ruby, and sometimes JavaScript right there. All right, so kebab case, a naming style where all letters are lowercase and words are separated by hyphens. So you can see right here, users dash name, customer dash name, other dash name right there. So that's the kebab case right there. So it's commonly used in HTML, CSS, blah, 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 blah. Right, using data analysis, and we can just see this is a table that just gives us everything right there. So if I come to Excel and I want to name a table, for example, this is a table, we have created it as table. So if I go to the table design right here tab, when you create a table, a new tab is created called the table design. So same thing too, when you create a shape, you see a tab will be created called the shape format. So the same thing, that's how Excel operates. Now when you create something like a shape, when you create something like a table, when you create something like a pivot table, when you create something like a chart, a new tab will be provided right here. So you can see it's green right here because it's not the original tab, it's not the default tab. is a type that was forced, that came into being, into existence because you created something. You created something like a shape. You created something like an official Excel table. If I click the normal cell, you're not, can you see, it's just the default tabs that are there. But when I click something else, right, you're going to see right there how that the shape now has a shape format, and click table, you now see table design right there. So if I click the table design right there, so you're going to see the name right there. Look at it. Can you see this is in table name right here? Look at it. This is the table name. So it's telling you what table what?
Table 2, sir.
Table 2. So that's the table name right here. So in this case now, it's using Pascal case. All right, so you can see, right, the first letter is capitalized, and the next one. So this is the Pascal case. It uses the Pascal case. So I've said table naming nomenclature uses what? The Pascal case right there. If I come and say, what is this? Regional performance. But if I come here and I do regional performance, enter space. What I enter space? So performance, right? All right, or regional table. Let me just say regional table right here. All right, just what you see, I enter space and I click OK. Excel will not accept it because that's not the style. All right, it's not the naming nomenclature that Excel recognizes. All right, when you want to name a table, you must use one of the 4 naming styles to name this table right there. So you can see the syntax of this name is incorrect. Verify that the name starts with a letter or underscore right here. So it's telling you to use a snake case or something like that, right there. So I can come here, I can just go now. When I come here and I do something like regional underscore, all right, table. Okay, the snake case actually, we don't just use it like this, right? Regional table, regional underscore table. All right, and I enter. So automatically you see that Excel has accepted that name. All right, and if I come to the name box now, you're going to see the name regional table. So it's there. So everything you name inside an Excel worksheet or workbook, if you click the drop down on the or on the name box, you're going to see all the names that you already have on that worksheet. The custom names that you created, you're going to see them. So you can see regional table right here, right there. So you can see, how it has accepted the snake case, but it did not accept having a space in between them. You can use any of the case. You can use the camel case. You want to see regional, all right, regional table. This is the comma case right here, and it works. It accepts this. And if I come to the drop down here, I'm going to see it right there too. And also change it to come to the table design and look at the table names right there. And I can just change it to the Pascal case, which is the standard that I say uses the regional table. And just like that, naming worksheet. So each worksheet in a workbook has different names, like sheet 1, sheet 2, etc. So renaming them helps you organize your workbook and navigate quickly. Just like we did, we named that sheet that was sheet 1 expenses. We named the other one something sales. So each sheet will have name that can help you easily navigate. So if you are saying sheet 1, sheet 12, sheet 50, do you know the sheet that sheet 50? No, but if you have a name for it, it becomes very easy for you to locate it. And don't forget, Excel can spare us, right? When you're naming sheets, you might not really apply, not applying the naming convention will not really affect you, but it's good you learn it as a practice so that moving forward, it doesn't affect you in the long run, right? For example, let me just tell you what I'm talking about. Look at this particular sheet right? You can see I didn't follow the naming rules right here, naming convention, right? I didn't follow the rules. I just named them like that without following the rules. Can you see? I just named space, right? But in all of those naming conventions, I never saw space. So when naming sheets, Excel can spare you, all right? But there are other things. When you want to name table, you cannot try this. It will not work. Okay, we'll get there. So just trying to understand that. Okay, so you can see right here that I've named each of these sheets. They have a name, naming convention, naming a cell, naming a range, naming a table, name manager. They have their own several names. So naming your sheets is an organized way of working. Okay, how to rename a sheet. So double click the sheet and type sheet tab and type a new name, or right click the tab, rename. So that's how to name a sheet. So naming cell, you can assign a name to a single cell. So do you know that you can name a cell? A cell that is D7 can actually have a name, a particular name that you give to it. So if when you name it, the Excel machine will understand that name is not part of the system, all right, I have given to it. So when you call that name again, it will come up, all right? When you want to use it in a formula, that name can be used as a reference in a particular formula. So a cell can be named, a range can be named, a table can be named. All right, so I want you to get that. I want you to have that understanding. So you can assign a name for it to a single cell to make formulas more readable. So how to name a cell? Select the cell, click in the name box, left of the formula bar, type the name and press enter. Let's do that. Right, so naming a cell. So I can name this particular cell. This, you can see now, this name of this cell, this name box is what? C4. So I can give it a name. Let's say I want to give it a name John, because John is close to it. All right, let's say I want to give it a name John. So if I click here and I type John and I press enter, automatically when you click that particular cell, you'll not be seeing C4 again. All right, you'll be seeing the name that you have named it to. All right, if I come to another cell and I click equal to John, so can you see now it says identifying that they can recognize that a name like John exists in the system. Let it complete. So if I click John, automatically it brings 75. So it's referencing anything that's in that particular cell. On a good day, for instance, this is C5. If I come here and I click equal to C5, whatever thing we have in C5 will come up. All right, so you can see we have 80 in C5. See that 80 here comes up. All right, so it's the same logic that applies here, just that the difference between this and this is that we have already named this particular cell as John, so we can name these two as Obina. All right, but if I come, for instance, this Obina has not been named, so the Excel machine doesn't understand this. So if I come here and I do equal to Obina and I say equal to Obina, it will give me an error because it does not understand what Obina is. Can you see? It has given me an error. What's the error message? The formula contains unrecognized text. It does not recognize the text. Okay, let's leave it like that. Now let's name this C5 as Obina. So when I click the name box and type Obina, automatically can you see that error has disappeared? It now recognizes Obina. Do you understand how to name a cell now?
Yes. So
all right, that's good. So let's move in. So we're taking it bit by bit. I'm giving you all the little details that you need to know to understand, so that when you meet the advanced things, the smaller things will not be stopping you. Okay. So naming a cell, you know how to name a cell now. So let's move. Naming cells. So best practices in naming cells. Number one, use camel case or snake case. Okay, use camel case or snake case. All right. So let me come here and do something. Naming a cell. Right, I've named John, I've named Obina, I've named Anita. So let's say this guy's name is Anita Paul. Okay, and I come here. All right, this is 66. Let's say I want to name 66 Anita Paul. So let me come here and type Anita Paul and I enter. It's giving me an error. Why is it giving me an error? Because Excel does not understand this naming convention. I'm adding a space in between. So this naming convention is not understood. So that's why it's giving me. So you must enter the valid reference you want to go to, or type a valid name for the selection. So this name is not valid. The Excel does not recognize it. Do you understand? So that's the reason why it's giving me error. So when I was doing a single name, John Obina, I was accepting it. But when I came here and I did Anita, then a space, then Paul, it's giving me an error. So let's rename it. Let's use camel case. So I can use camel case. Anita Paul. So we can use camel case and click enter. Automatically, you can see this has changed to Anita Paul. Can you see? Why? Because we used the right naming convention. It works. So that's why I told you understanding naming convention is very important in naming your system. So you naming your cells, naming tables, and naming convention is important. Let's say Adewale Johnson right here. So let's use another case, another naming convention. If we put space in between, it will not work. So we can use the snake case right there. So let's just use the snake case. Adewale underscore Johnson. Right. Automatically it will accept it. Adewale Johnson. It's cool. Let's try another one again. Just to buttress my point once more. Maxwell Stella. So let's say Maxwell Stella again. Let's come here and do Maxwell space, which is the wrong naming convention. Stella. And watch it give you an error. Gives you an error. So have I been able to pass it across to you? The idea I'm trying to sell.
Yes.
You get it? You get it now?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you can name a cell. All right. So let's move. So it's the best practice. It's a best practice. So I want you to understand that practice. So they said use camel case or snake case. All right, don't use spaces or start names with numbers. So that's another one you have to see. Avoid using Excel's reserved name like some, if, all those function names. Avoid using them, all right, because you'll be clashing with the already pre-built or predetermined functions that we have on the system. So this is the best practice when you're naming cells. Not only cells, naming whatever, naming range, naming a table. A named range refers to a group of cells. All right, this is especially useful for formula charts, data validation. So I told you what a range can do. That means you can sum a particular group of cells at once. All right, because they are range. We say a name range refers to a group of cells. This is especially useful for formula charts and data validation. So how to name a range? Select the range, go to formula, define name, enter a name, and click OK. All right, so let's just go do that quickly. So naming a range, let me go to this naming range. So this is a range. Let's say I want to name this particular range. So once I select everything, right, what I want to do, I come to formula, this formula tab, you will see define name right here. So once you click the define name, all right, let me say team score, team underscore score. So now mind you, if I put a space and I do team score, right, and I click OK, it gives you an error. Do you understand? Because it's not aligned with the naming convention. But if I come here, let's say I just come here and I do this and use a Pascal case and I click OK, it gives me that. So I've named this particular range right here. You might not be seeing it, but if I click this, you might not be seeing it right here on, because I'm naming, I'm selecting individual sets. But let me select the group of range, right? When I select this group or this range, automatically you see the name has changed to team score. But if I'm here, I'm just selecting one cell at a time. I'm just selecting one cell at a time. You will not see the name except I select that range. Then you now see the name, the team score. And that way you can see all the name you have right here. Look at this drop down that's close to the name box. Once I click that drop down, you're going to see all the cells, ranges, tables that have names. So you can see team score right here. So I can just bring this thing up again. Let's say I do equal to team score, equal to team score right here, and I click OK. So automatically it will bring up that range. Can you see I just automatically bring up that range that we have right here that we already named. So what I didn't come to be typing everything. I just typed the name of that particular range and it brought up that range for me right here. So it dynamically brought out that range. In the next class, I'm going to talk about the difference between Excel 2016 and Excel 2021 going forward. Excel 365, all right? Excel 2021, 2016 downward, 2016 cannot do this thing. They're called dynamic arrays, all right? Excel, they cannot manage dynamic arrays. So in the next class, I'm going to teach about that, okay? So automatically, it has split it on different cells, right? So that's how you can name a range. So to do it again, select what the range that you want to name. Come to formula tab, you see define name. Once you click define name, you go to what, give it a name that you want and click OK. That particular range will be named. Let's move on. When you insert a table, Excel automatically assigns it a name, right? Like table 1, renaming table helps when using structure reference in formulas. I already told you how to name a table, right? Control T or go to insert, right? And insert a table. That's how to name a table, but you can rename it because Excel will just give it an automatic name. So you have to rename the table the way you want the table to rename. So how to rename the table? Click anywhere in the table, go to table design, all right, then enter table name, type in name and press enter. Let's do that. Let's just do that quickly. Maybe this might just be the last one we'll take before we close. All right, so this is the table, okay? It is not a table yet, right? Because it's table, you will see those featuring arrow dropping down. So that's how you identify that a particular range is a table. This is just a range of data. So if you want to do it, you can just select what you want to convert to a table, then Control T. Does my table have header? Yes. So you can see this a table, you can see these arrows. So whenever you see these arrows by the side of the names, you can know that that's a table for you right there. So yeah. So if you want to rename it, Excel automatically has given it a name. So now we want to come to this table name. Look at the table name right here at the left, the extreme left, right? So we want to rename it. Mind you, name convention have to be applied, all right? Because if you come here and say average score, all right, with a space in between and click OK, it will give you error. So already know how to name these things. Okay, you're already a pro on this. Congratulations to you. So we want to name it average 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 score. Let's use a Pascal case, average score, and click OK. So the name of this table is now called average score. If you come to the name box, you can see average score has been added right here. So you see all the names that have been named, right? So we can come here and say equal to average average score. You see the table right here. Let's just double click this and click enter. Automatically to bring up that particular range that we have named. All right, so that's how you can rename a table. Okay, so lastly, what we're gonna touch is using a name manager. So name manager is your control panel for all name items. So how to access? Go to the formulas, name manager. So yeah, you can view all name cells, ranges, tables, edit and delete names, filter, by scope or whatever. So this is what you use to manage all names that you have. All right. When you're using name manager, so best practice: review names periodically to avoid clutter. Delete obsolete names. That means names that are no longer in use, or update outdated names to prevent confusion. Use comments in name managers for documentation. Okay, so all right, so let's just go run the name manager very quickly. Then I think that's the last thing. Then we close. All right, so this is name manager. Right, if I come to the formulas right here, you see name manager, right? Name manager. So once I click name manager, these are all the names that we have right in this workbook. As you can see right here, these are all the names we have on the workbook. You can see Adewale Johnson, you can see Anita Paul, average score, John Obina, team score. Here you can edit anything you want to edit. You can come here and edit. If I click edit, you're able to edit the name, you're able to edit the range. If I click Obina, I'll be able to watch. If I click edit, I'll be able to edit. If I want to delete it, I can delete the Obina. Let's say I delete Obina, I'll just delete Obina. Obina does no longer exist in the Excel machine. So this name manager is what you use to manage all the names right there. All right. So at this point, I think we have come to the end of today's class. The next class we're going to start with, which I've already touched on most of it in just for tables. Right. We're going to start with tables.